Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to go over some tips and tricks on the 2026 GMC Terrain. This will also apply on the 25 version, as there are no changes where these things are concerned for the 2026 model year. And here's something you might not think about. When it comes to maximizing your cargo space, you're going to lower the seat backs just like this, right? Well, notice that the seat belt can get in the way of that. But if you want to fix that problem, notice how it's down here. You can move that out of the way if you want to, but there's another way to do that that is far more effective. And you will see the little notch that is cut out right here. This is a little hard to do one-handed, but here is the notch I'm talking about. You're going to put the seat belt in right there, and then when you lower the seat back, the seat belt doesn't get in the way. When it comes to your power lift gate, which this feature is on all trim levels, when you walk up like this, it should start beeping. What do you do if it doesn't? That beeping will happen, it'll beep several times, and then the power tailgate will open. How do you fix that if it isn't working? We're going to come to the center screen, we're going to Settings, Vehicle, Comfort and Convenience, and then we will come to Hands-Free Exterior Storage Access, and you'll notice that it's currently set to off. You need to set that to open only. Now, we'll go back here and let me show you one more thing, because there is another little trick. Sometimes you might come back here and it won't open. Now it's going to open this time, but if for some reason it didn't, all you need to do is lock the vehicle and then unlock it and you're set. Now, you'll notice that it didn't open all the way. How do you fix that? Well, there's a couple of different things you can do. Number one, you can just move it into place. You can either raise it or lower it. This same trick works for anything, whether you raise or lower the power lift gate. And then you hold this button down and you're going to listen. There's going to be one beep. And then that will be set. Not a big deal, very easy to change, but like I say, there's one more way to deal with that. I do want to show you that that did fix the problem. Not that it was a problem necessarily, but if you need to change that for any reason whatsoever, that's how you do it. But there are a couple of additional ways you can deal with this. You can get to the same thing two different ways here on the screen. We can come right here, we can go down to See More Controls, and then we're going to go to Doors and Windows. And over here on the right-hand side of the screen, see where it says Power Rear Gate Height. You can set it to off or manual, which, by the way, no matter what, you can always open it manually. You can set it to custom, which is where it was when we were working with it in the previous scene, or you can go to max open right there if you want to. Now, you can also get to that by going to Settings, and then we'll go back here to Vehicle, and then we go down here to Comfort and Convenience, just to show you what's going on. Get that to work for us, and you will see Power Rear Gate Opening. Using remote start is very, very easy, but I'm going to show you how to do this anyway. Now, it doesn't matter if the vehicle is locked or unlocked. In fact, I'm going to make sure that it's unlocked, and then I'm going to hit the remote start button twice, and you're going to hear the Terrain start. Just something to know about, and then you hold that button down, and it will turn back off. If you would like a head start on cooling down your interior on a really hot day and you want to let some of the hot air out, here's what you're going to do. We're going to hit the unlock button twice, and on the second press, we're going to hold that down, and you hear the horn honk, and notice all the windows come down. If you would like to change what you see on the driver's display, that is what this button is for, and you'll find that you can change the display to a couple of different looks, including navigation on your screen. If you want to see that right in front of you, there is that availability. And then we have the other screens that we've already seen. Very simple to use. I like that. Let's go to the center screen and I'll show you something else. Now, you have Google Assistant right here. You just say, hey, you know who right there. I don't want to set devices off in your house, so I'm not going to demonstrate that. But you don't have to do that. You can just select this area and give a command or ask a question like this. How far can I drive?
You can drive for about 172 kilometers with the remaining gas.
And you can obviously go in and change whether it's set to kilometers or whatever the situation is. And don't worry, I heard those of you that said, well, Tom, how do we change that from kilometers per hour to miles per hour? Or if you want to change the temperature, you'll notice that it's set to Celsius right now, and we don't want that here in the US. We're going to want Fahrenheit. We're going to go right here to settings, and then we come down here. Now, normally it would start just like this. We'll come down here to system, and then we go to units. And you'll notice that there is metric. You can set that to US. Problem solved. In the event that you've looked at some of the other newer GM vehicles that have come out recently, you might have noticed that to turn the child safety locks on and off, you have to do that in your infotainment screen. You don't have to worry about that here. That feature is still here on the doors itself, as it's been for a long time on many GMC vehicles. When we look to the left of the steering wheel, here's what we will find. You have your power parking brake right there, your drive mode selector, which, well, by the way, you have normal and then snow and ice. Those are your driving modes. You will also find the button to turn on and off auto hold for your brakes, and then the auto stop start feature can be turned off right there or turned on depending on your preference. What don't you see right there? That's right, you don't see the control for managing your headlights. It's also not on the turn signal indicator lever as it is in some vehicles. It's actually in the screen right here. So here's what we're going to do. There's a couple of different ways you can get to it. You can do it right here if you want to. We're going to go to see more controls if you want to do that, and you'll see lights. But the easier way is to select right there, and you can go to off. You can set it to auto, or you can turn everything on right here depending on what you want to do. So we're going to leave that set to auto right there. That's going to be nice and simple. And depending on what you want to turn on and off, you'll also have some features right here. Your power window lockout is located here in the screen. You'll notice it's not on the driver's side door, but that doesn't mean it isn't here in case you were looking. And then you already know what's over here because we looked at that. And then again, we have everything for our lights right here. Dome light, you can turn that off or on right there. Your auto high beams, if you're looking for that feature, there's where that is located. And then again, everything for your headlights. I'm not going to cover everything here in great detail, but I did want to just show you some of the features that are here. Connections, you can go into vehicle because there is a ton under there. Notifications, apps, if you want to change the date and time, you can do that. Display, sounds, profiles and accounts, privacy, accessibility, assistance, and voice. You'll also have system and then updates. If you're wondering about your driving aids or safety features, we're going to vehicle and then collision and detection systems, and you will see that you can go in and make a lot of changes where that is concerned. It just depends on what it is you want to do. I'm not going to cover everything here in great detail, but you can see what's on the screen and that you can go in and turn things off. You can change it to alert or alert and brake. It just depends on your personal preference. If you find that the chime volume is too loud, come here to settings, and we'll go to sounds right here, and you'll see volume levels. That's going to be our very first option right there. You can change the audio volume default if you want to right there, ringtone volume, phone volume, and then you also have your voice assistant volume. So that's always nice to know you can change that. Navigation as well. That way, if you have your radio playing, music playing, depending on where you set your volume here, sometimes you can't hear the navigation volume as well. If you're having trouble with that, there is where you change that so you can hear it. And one more thing, maximum volume at startup. Well, depending on where you want that to be set, we can come right here and change that. Now you can see that it's at the 50% mark. You can move that up or move it down depending on what you want. How about your notifications? You might wonder what is there. So if you want notifications from OnStar, Sirius XM, Maps, you can turn all of that on. You can do the same thing with several other features down here, as you can see, depending on your situation and what you want on and off. Obviously, you can go in here and change a lot of things. Very simple, but it's nice to know where those things are. One thing I'll say about this particular infotainment system, this technology from GMC, it may seem like a lot. There's a lot of sub-menus, but it is very easy to learn and use. And there are some of the tips and tricks for the 2025 or 2026 GMC Terrain. If there's something you were looking for that I did not cover, tell me down in the comments section and I will make that video for you. I appreciate everybody for taking the time to watch. I'll see you in the next video.